Hello, and welcome to Talk of the Town. I'm Michael Jacobi, executive producer of Jazz on the Plaz and host of Raising the Standards on KCAT Radio Santa Cruz. Delighted to have you with us. We've got a little bit of a change of locations. There's some constructions going on at our studios at KCAT. So we came back to the Toll House, our dear friends who've always been very kind to us, and a new friend, Amy Donahue. Hello, Amy.
Hi, Michael.
Welcome.
It's very nice to meet you.
Nice to see you. Now,
yes.
My good buddy Colleen Bailey, who's the director of the Monterey Jazz Festival, sent me a little note that says, look who's coming to work with us. And you are the new development director for Monterey Jazz Festival.
Yes, I am. This is my 8th day on the job.
Well, so you've got that going for you. And now Colleen warned you that this is kind of flow of consciousness.
Sure,
the conversation.
that
Okay,
seems to
that's
work
good.
in the jazz sphere
Good.
nicely.
Well, because today's subject is Pakistan. No, I'm
okay.
kidding. No.
Okay. Well, I did read the New York Times this morning.
That's perfect.
Okay.
That's perfect.
All right.
You're originally from outside of Philadelphia?
I was born and raised in New Jersey, right outside the Philadelphia
which exit?
area. It's been a long time, been other places for a long time since then. My parents used to still be located, but we recently relocated them.
Yeah.
So my New Jersey ties are more or less dispersed.
Now, New Jersey, did you go to high school in New Jersey?
I did.
So you have a great story about sneaking into Manhattan?
Oh, I have great stories about high school.
Yeah.
In general, and music and the scenes and the boardwalk. So
you were in, well, without dating you, which years were you in New York? In the 70s?
Well, I was born in the 60s,
Okay.
and my parents were actually quite progressive and active. My father was an English professor.
Okay.
So we got around in the 60s. And
Well, the reason I say, Birdland's still open, the original
Yeah,
Birdland,
yeah.
Village Vanguard. It was a little bit into the kind of shabby years in New York when we started the
right,
beginning
there
of
were
that.
some shabby
That
years
was a
when we
tough
were
time.
going there as high
But-
schoolers. It was pretty shabby.
Yeah, but what a great jazz
Oh,
scene.
yeah. It's
Yeah.
wonderful.
I see.
Wonderful.
What'd your mom do?
My mom was an educator. Both
As
of my
well,
parents
okay.
were educators, so I think that laid the foundation for me that, how gratifying it is to be in that sphere where you're opening doors and creating opportunities.
Yeah, it's as I know from running Jazz on the Plaza, it's you keep your hand out just about all the time, and rarely are you shaking.
Right.
It's like, you know what it is? It's like an Etch-a-Sketch every year, right? You start over, boom. Okay, here we go. Let's do it again.
I like that metaphor.
Fast forward, where'd you go to school?
Well, I went to the University of Iowa
Okay,
as an
and-
undergraduate. I was in their
Is that Ames?
writers program, Iowa City.
Iowa City, okay.
And then after that, I went to the big city of Chicago and worked
Chicago.
for some time.
Yeah. I grew up outside of Chicago, and
Oh, where outside Chicago?
Rockford and Aurora.
Okay, yeah.
And Chicago, great jazz town
Yep.
as well. Now, you grew up being a jazz fan?
Yes, and my father is a big jazz fan.
Okay.
My grandfather was a pianist.
Okay.
And,
Jazz pianist?
Classical
Okay.
and jazz, he would get around. He was a pianist during the Depression era. That was when he was really playing. He was trained in New York City, and so music was a big deal. I remember growing up playing the piano with my grandfather, who was, had a ruler, and that was kind of how we kept tempo, among
right.
other things.
How funny. Are there siblings?
I have two sisters. I have an older sister who lives in Cambridge, England, and a younger sister who is at Duke University in Durham, North Carolina.
Oh, my heavens, you guys have education stayed in the family.
Right.
That's nice. That's nice. So, what was your major in college?
English literature.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
So, would it take a long time to realize the job opportunities so good?
Well, I pretty much, having that foundation, though, that
it's marvelous,
liberal
marvelous
arts
foundation.
education, that was what my father was all about. I think that's one reason why the education program and the aspect of the world that I'm in professionally now is so rewarding.
Well, it's funny because in the old it says, well, you're going to get a liberal arts degree. Well, what are you going to do with it? Well, the fact is just about anything.
Exactly.
Because the training that's instilled is can work on every level.
You know, and I
Remarkable.
still believe that. The young
Absolutely.
professionals that I work with who are trained in music and you know, the humanities are some of the sharpest young people that I know. You become a critical thinker, can articulate well, just, you know, are aware of the world around you.
So you alluded to your grandfather now. Are your knuckles still sore, or did
A
you
little
ever
bit.
get?
I definitely have. I definitely have those memories.
Do you still
so-
play?
No, I don't really. I don't really still play.
So, we're talking to Amy Donahue, who's the new development director of the Monterey Jazz Festival, one of the second oldest jazz festival, I believe, in the world, after Montreux. Or no, is it after? See, you don't necessarily know this, or after. What's Newport? It might be Newport, may be older.
Yes, this will be the 61st year.
I have enjoyed the relationship with the Monterey Jazz Festival for at least 25 years, and seen some remarkable people there. I still do some MC work, and we are delighted every year at Jazz on the Plaza to bring the Monterey Jazz Festival County High School All-Stars. And I know you've only been there 8 days, but we'll talk a little bit about your next generation jazz. We're going to take a moment to thank the good folks at O'Connor Hospital, part of Verity Health, for sponsoring the show. We are ever so appreciative. Let's take a little break and tell you about them.
At O'Connor Hospital, we're restoring health together. Step by step, together. Because care is better together. O'Connor, together in health. At O'Connor Hospital, we're shortening your wait time. Because in an emergency, every minute counts. This is our commitment to you. O'Connor Hospital, together in health.
Welcome back to the Talk of the Town. Michael Jacobi with you, with our guest, Amy Donahue from the Monterey Jazz Festival. We were just talking about your living as you're getting used to the market. You're living in Monterey. We're talking about some of the places. Monterey, is you know, if you talk that whole area, and as I've done a radio program down there for years, it is, from a golf standpoint, you've got the crown jewel with Pebble Beach, and also a lot of great causes. Iconic music with the Monterey Jazz Festival. It's great, great plays. Great, it's marvelous. So you're to give a terrible analogy, like a pig in heaven. I mean, it's just magnificent.
It is
magnificent. To come out and to love education and to love fundraising and be dedicated, this is a great market to come to.
Oh, wonderful. Yeah. Well, I'm glad to be back. I've been in Los Angeles for a bit of a hiatus.
Now, how was that?
Wonderful.
Did you like LA?
Yeah, I loved LA. There's so much going on. The diversity is fantastic. It's a grind. I mean, it's definitely a pace of life that's different.
Well, it's also interesting, particularly when you're fundraising, is that it's not, it's a grind, but it's more, you show me that you're doing something that helps the community, works for the community, will support you. It's not like you have to reinvent the wheel.
Right.
You don't have to go out and, there's a lot of money around.
Yeah.
There's a lot of corporate money if you know how to get to it.
That's right.
And
it's a very competitive market and very fast-paced, but importantly, there's really good work being done, and there are very generous people that want to support that. So,
I left the aquarium out before I have to apologize for that. There's
the
another
aquarium's
marvelous
a special place.
That is a very special place, and the Packards, a marvelous job they've done. So, how did this all come about that you ended up here?
Well, Colleen and I spoke. We have been professional colleagues and friends for many years.
Now, were you at the Steinbeck Center?
I was at the Steinbeck Center with Colleen.
Okay,
and
which is in Salinas.
In Salinas, and she is just a colleague that I hold in the highest regard. And I knew she had been moving to the Monterey Jazz Festival. I was busy doing what I was doing in Los Angeles for a while. But Colleen is the kind of leadership that I have grown to really appreciate in my work in nonprofit. She's visionary, she has this background that's very eclectic, and she's very dedicated to the mission of serving the young people. So that was a mission and a leadership I could get behind.
As much as we all love jazz, there's a layback attitude that isn't the attitude for fundraising or for running the company, and that's what I love about her.
Yeah.
You can see the difference
Yeah.
so quickly. What comes to mind when you're looking to accept a job like this? What are the things you ask yourself?
Well, for me personally, it's really the mission. And is that a mission that I can stand behind, that I can rally behind, that I can garner the supports for? And serving young people, I think, is probably the most valuable thing we can do. And I was particularly blown away after spending time at the Next Gen Festival, which is where I talked to Colleen and colleagues and, essentially learned about the position and decided about the position. I was blown away by the talent of the young people.
Oh, I have to tell you, this is our 10th or 12th year of having the young people come here. And inevitably, the first question is, seriously, are they really in high school? Like, yeah, but
it's
amazing
astounding.
talent. And it's always exciting for me because you're like putting your ear to the future. And what's interesting is it's an ever-changing act because these kids will come say hello and then say goodbye to their mates, and next year it's a whole new thing.
Right.
So
Yeah.
So
and the
it's
mentoring that you see through the generation, which is, of course, a part of the tradition and the core of jazz music. But interestingly, I felt like in fundraising, I've done worked for all kinds of organizations, including social service organizations. I felt like in these challenging times representing the arts, there was a real opportunity for that.
Well, particularly what's happened in schools.
Yeah.
And we're kind of lost.
Yeah. And I think that achievement gap is so vast, and the kind of things, the vision that Colleen has and Tim has and Paul Cantos, who works directly with the students, it's going to open doors and change the world for young people and all of us.
It sounds like you've landed somewhere that's pretty special, and
I
know we've only got a couple of minutes. I do want to take 30 seconds. Your first job out of college?
Lincoln Park Zoo.
Doing what?
Fundraising.
Fundraising for the zoo.
And that was.
Now, did you go out? Did you go out with koala bears and stuff and say, "Oh, look, give us money"?
You know what? I have some good stories. Little chimpanzees would, I got to.
Tell him you don't have any money. Yeah.
Exactly. And it was a very successful fundraising organization.
One of the great zoos in the world. Yeah.
So I learned I learned how to do what I did with really great people.
Yeah. Okay. So as you say, it's 8 days. People can, whether it's a corporation or a private individual, can donate and help support the next generation. Is that all on the website?
It's all on the website, www.montereyjazzfestival.org. People can support education programs. They can go into a special interest, or they can support the organization at large.
And of course, it's always the third weekend in September for the Jazz Festival this year, the 61st annual. Wynton Marsalis will be there. Nora Jones is going to be there. I just recently saw the list. Have you been to the festival before?
I have not been to the festival.
Good for you.
Before,
Good for you.
So
well,
I
it's
feel
pretty
like
remarkable.
Open eyes, a new perspective is really.
It's tantamount to going to the Golden Gate Bridge. If you live in Monterey, you got to bring your guests. All right, we'll go. But that's certainly a gift that keeps giving. Well, I'm looking forward to working with you and seeing more of you, and we wish you the best. And people should get in touch with you when you finally quit living in a tent on Cannery Row. Amy, thank you.
Absolutely, and even in my tent, they could
delighted to see you. That's the talk of the town. Delighted to have you with us. Until next time, I'm Jacobi. I'll see you soon.